This is my pallet workshop. I built it 9 years ago using mostly pallets to save money. It's 8 by 14 feet, still holding up. So we're going to go back 9 years and watch it being built. Good morning. I'm just starting on a new project here. Pretty big project since I'll be doing it all by myself. And that is making a pallet shed. It's a shed made mostly out of pallets, except for you're going to need some 2x4s and plywood to make it stronger. But the shed you see in front of you is an 8x8 shed. All my projects have been built in that. It's completely maxed out. Basically what I want to do is move my shed out of the way so I can start building the new one. And I want to keep my old shed so I have something to work in until my new one's ready. Anyways, over here is my pallet collection. The reason why I'm using pallets is there's no reason why these things should be going in the garbage, for one. And it's going to save me a lot of money on lumber. I need a total of 32 pallets. I have 10 so far. I've been hauling 2 a day in my station wagon. This is a bunch of stuff that was around my shed. Just old fire pit blocks, retaining wall blocks. And what I'm going to do is use these retaining wall blocks to keep the floor or my shed off the ground about 4 inches. And here's kind of a look at my shed, my plans, just a rough sketch. This is the floor. My shed is going to be 8 by 14 feet. There's the walls, and it's just going to be a sloped roof. A lot easier. After about 3.5 hours, I managed to get it about 5 feet moved. And unfortunately, it also moved that way and is, like about a foot away from the fence now. I think that's pretty much all I can do. I used every single trick I could come up with, using logs, pipe, boards, jacks, leverage. So I think I'm just going to start tearing the shed apart. It's my only option. Today I'm going to dismantle the rest of my shed and start making the floor of my new shed. I got the main part of the floor in today. Quite happy about that. The worst part was trying to level all this. You can see I used retaining blocks. Plus I had a whole bunch of cinder blocks left over and I used them up as well. I got 4x4s going underneath. I have retaining blocks supporting all the middle too. All on that side. This thing is solid as a rock. Just got to put a few strips of wood down there. Throw a bunch more screws in here to make sure it's extra solid, and then I could put the floor on. Alright guys, I just got some boards laid out on the floor just for a rough layout. All this came from the roof of my old shed. As I said earlier, all this wood will get reused in some form or another. Nothing will go to waste. I got a couple of pallets there just stood up just to see how things are going to look. There'll be 2 pallets, or 8 feet high on this side, 7 feet high on this side with a sloped roof. My door will be right there. It'll be about roughly 38 inches wide. So one thing I forgot to mention is I brought my dad out today, and even though he can't help physically, he offered me lots of advice, helped with the leveling,
and the measuring. Right now the most important part is done, the floor. Now I can just collect my pallets 2 at a time, slowly build the walls. I should have this done, like the first phase of this done, by the end of September. Unfortunately, I got all this stuff laying out still, and we're supposed to get an early winter, which I'm worried about. We've already had snow in August. I put in about a half a day so far in the shed, and in my last video I just completed the floor, and in between that I've been collecting a couple pallets a day, putting up a section of wall each night after work. And after working a 10-hour day, you come home and put in 2 more hours on this is quite difficult. Today I had 8 more pallets I needed to collect. I was very lucky to get my father-in-law to give me a ride with his truck and pick up the last 8 pallets. Last week I ordered some lumber, 40 8-foot 2x4s and 20 sheets of 7/16 OSB plywood. That came to a total of $326, which is pretty good. On these walls here, what I've been doing is laying these pallets down flat, taking these 2x4s and using a jig on my skill saw, is trimming a 1/4 inch, and then sliding the 2x4s down in between the pallets, screwing them in, doing one section at a time. The reason why I have that much sticking out on the top is I'm going to have windows going all the way across the top for lots of natural light. I'm going to have a window in the door. I think I'm going to call it a day. I got quite a bit done today, all the major stuff. I still got a little bit of sheeting to do on the back side of the roof, just little strips. Tomorrow I'm going to take my mom to an appointment, and I'm going to pick up some roofing paper, silicone, some more screws, and tomorrow I'm going to put the roof on, finish up all the small details, you know, around all the windows, start working on the inside, and sheeting the outside will come last. You know, the most important thing is getting the inside done so I can get all my tools and everything back inside. My yard is still a disaster. After my last video, which was September 7th, I did quite a bit of work. You know, I've been working on this thing 7 days a week. Shortly after my last video, I ran out of the store-bought 2x4, so I had to start picking apart my old shed, which was part of the plan. And it couldn't have worked out any better. I had very little scrap wood left. You know, it's always good to have a little bit of scrap wood for other projects. So after my last video, I finished sheeting the roof, sheeting the inside. You can see all the extra braces I put on to help support the roof. I used some sheet metal from another old shed to do the roof. You can see on the inside here I have all my tools hanging up. Some people aren't going to like that. If I put all my tools away in a toolbox, I kind of forget that I have them, so I like to have everything on display. I have a shelf, very low profile shelf here for all kind of car fluids and spray paint, stuff like that. I was surprised at how quick this shed filled up. You know, I can't believe I fit everything in my other 8x8 shed. I started off with this workbench up to here. That filled up really quickly. Then I built this shelf. That filled up quickly. I extended my workbench all the way to the end. This is 14 feet in length. Filled up that. And then I ended up having to build another little shelf there for all my power tools. So by using some good strong free pallets and doing some scavenging, I was able to save some money and make this workshop happen. This thing is still rock solid after 9 years. And after looking at some of the footage, I'd probably do a couple things differently. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.